today's class. How are we doing? I hope we are doing fine. We are staying at home. That is as a result of the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. That's the best precaution we need to take for us to curb this very disease. As a matter of fact, like I said, we'll continue to talk about the things we're supposed to discuss in the class. Now, today we are going to look at the factors that facilitated the change in human resource management. In our last class, we discussed the evolution of human resource management, where we talked about the stages or how the word human resource management came to be. It started from welfare officer to labor manager to personnel management to human resource management, and then to HR business partner. So today we'll be looking at some factors that led to that changing from personnel management to human resource management. And those factors are as a result of the changes that occurred within our political, economical, technological, academical environments. And those factors are going to be discussed under the following 6 subheadings. Number 1, shift in global macro policy framework. Number 2, business competition. Number 3, change in customer needs and expectations. Number 4, technological change. Number 5, change of philosophy of employee relations. And then number 6, developments in the academia. Now, these are the 6 major factors that led to change from personnel management to human resource management. Now, let's talk about the first one, which is shift in global macro policy framework. You see, between the 1980s and 1990s, we experienced a situation where market forces was a major determinant that led to government reduction, more removing the hands of government making government not to interfere much into the economic issues. That was the era of neoliberalism, and this neoliberalism is a policy model that gives private organizations more opportunities to be or to participate in economic issues than that of the public organizations. So this particular, at this level, when private organizations, when things are privatized, there is high rate of competition. So because of this, organizations now look for a better way of managing people in order to compete favorably. In order to compete favorably. Now, you find out that when private, like for instance, when you do privatization of some of these products, the organizations, most of the private organizations, they try to innovate new things in order to make it work better. So at that level, they will look for a better way of managing their employees. So that one is number 1. Then number 2, we will look at the second one, which is business competition. You see, between 1980s and 1990s, most organizations started changing, improving their products and services from, and even giving it at a very cheap price. For instance, organizations in Japan started producing a better and more and cheaper goods. So at this level, people will like to patronize them, and at that point, there will be high rate of competition amongst all the organizations. Yes, and as such, organizations will now resort to development of their employees so as to make them produce more and better, produce more and better, talking about quality control. So this made it to change from personnel management to human resource management, because now it's no longer the traditional way, the old way of doing things. Things are started changing. The third one is change in customer expectations. You see, in this life, as people's income grow, so is their taste. So does their taste changes. What someone eats yesterday, you may not like to eat it again today, or you may like to eat a better one tomorrow. So, as a matter of fact, high expectations of customers make organizations to start looking for a better way to improve their products and services. And that is, like for instance, what we are having today, like some of these pig milk and some of these milk industry, maybe pig milk and cow, those milk before now, they may not have the qualities they have today, because they don't have much. But today we have more companies producing milk and even giving it at a cheaper rate. So at this level, people will now want to go for the one that is cheap, and will also give them the exact thing they want. So that is when organizations will now start looking for a way to develop their staff, to make their staff to be attuned with what is obtainable in the society. So this made them to change from personnel management to human resource management, trying to see a better way of managing their employees. Now, another one is a technological change. You see, recently, organizations now do things in a more advanced way than what we used to have before. No longer a situation where we do things by, anyhow. You wake up, you do it by just do it. But these days, organizations try to use machine to produce their things. Most of the things they do now is no longer manual but digital. So, and in situations like this, you will need to train the staff, because most of when you introduce some of these new machines, the staff may not be attuned with it. So you need to train them and get them to do it, to operate those machines. And in doing this, it makes organizations to change from the old traditional personnel management, the old way, to the current way of doing this, which is human resource management. And another one is a change of philosophy of employee relations. You see, it's no longer a situation where employees depend so much on trade union to speak for them. This time around, as this goes by, people start thinking of, it's now a decision whereby employer and employee sit down and discuss their employment relations or their terms of reference. So in discussing this, they don't need trade union. So as a matter of fact, since it is like this, organizations now say, okay, they started changing from the old traditional from the traditional personnel management to human resource management. As a matter of fact, people no longer depend so much on their trade union to bargain for them. It's now between you and I, the employer and the employee, talking about our issues, and we discuss a better way of having our people or our work done. So these things are the things that make organizations to change from the old way of personnel management to the current human resource management we are having. So another one, the last but not the least, is development in academia. Building. This one is talking about building on accumulated knowledge that came as a result of the researches conducted previously on better way of managing people. In this situation now, organizations started seeing a more strategic approach to people management. So in order to be attuned with what is obtainable, based on the research is carried out in the past between 1980s and 1990s, they now started adopting a more strategic approach towards human resource management, and it's a better way. And so this made them to change from the old personnel management to the current human resource management we have today. So having talked about all this, in our next class, we are going to look at some of the current trends, contemporary trends, or rather, current trends in human resource management. We will look at the current issues, the contemporary issues in human resource management. So, thank you so much for listening to our class today, and keep on following us on our social media so that we continue to keep you moving. Thank you.